Well, hello there everybody, uxwbill here once again. It's almost midnight, so I got to keep it down to a dull roar. But after much strife and several trials, we've got some awesome news here. Furhead and the Keykeeper just put the finishing touches on the heap. Let's see if I'm smart enough to do this. There we go. And now they're getting ready for a grand run-up. The Keykeeper's hooking up the battery right now. He's put the transmission fluid in. We're going to have a dry run, see if this heap can possibly live again. Amongst the many things that Furhead has done to it, he's put in a fresh new radiator at the remanufactured transmission, got an aftermarket cooler on it for the transmission, and various things like that. It's my understanding that he still needs to do some spark plugs and things like that. Oh, you got the new spark plugs. And we need a new rear window. Need some better taste in music.
Hey man, it's true.
And sounds like we got thunder coming up out here. Let's see if I'm smart enough to do this. There we go. There was a thunderstorm that was down in Missouri earlier, and it looks like it's finally making its way up to Illinois. It's not real loud yet, but I can definitely hear thunder every so often. So we'll be back in just a minute to see what the two wizards have managed to do, and if this run-up of the Jeep will indeed be successful or not. Furhead's actually made himself a couple of more bugs here. You can see one of them right there, and another one over here. Alright everybody.
Are you pouring it in?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait till you start the engine.
It's time for the grand fire up. This thing's been sitting idle for a long time. There's some tiny question about whether or not the firing order's correct.
You want to go over a checklist and everything?
Check the drive shaft?
Drive shafts are tight in the rear, at least if you check the front. Okay.
But I tightened them.
Okay, well, you're only willing to come up. Rear drums are cleaned out.
You guys got all the loose stuff away from the motor?
Did we get everything tight on the motor? Okay, did we get all the connections tight? The transmission, heater hoses, all that good stuff?
Good, there's warm flames on them.
Okay, what about that one you wanted to put a warm clamp on?
Yep.
You got everything tight on the front of the motor?
Yep.
I don't know how to
see
be
what happens.
standing in front of this.
You gotta let the fuel build pressure. Is that fuel? Oh no, that's wiper motor.
That doesn't sound good.
That's starter.
That starter does not sound good.
Well, it's full of sand and shit. You expect it to be healthy?
Well, it started the Jeep after this disaster, did it not?
Yeah, but it wasn't sitting for a year and,
And
letting
the
it dry
motor's
out.
probably very stiff.
Probably.
Here we go. Try number 2. Got the booster turned on. Got it plugged in now, I think.
Go for it.
I don't know. That almost sounded like maybe it was firing on the wrong cylinders. But you definitely have a weak battery.
I have a crappy ass starter. Can't
Apparently I stand corrected about the battery. It's actually the battery out of the big brown piece of junk. So it's not the original battery that was in the Jeep.
a radio.
That always helps. Did you have a radio before?
I think so.
Okay, well, the Keykeeper and Furhead have done some cleaning on the starter terminals. And while there's no doubt it's in trouble, maybe it'll do just good enough to get this thing to fire up.
Everyone out of the way?
Well, I'm as out of the way as I can be.
Hang on a minute.
Okay.
Let me get these pliers off your evap box.
Alright,
Now let me get back in position.
I'm going to stand close to the edge here.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, that's not good.
I think you need a starter.
Alright, well, we're stymied for tonight then, but we'll be back. Worse than ever before. Alright everybody, uxwbill here once again. A day later, a dollar shorter, such as it may be. But we're getting a little closer to Project Jeep's resurrection. You see, Furhead was getting pretty frustrated, and so my dad, our dad, brought me into the loop on it. Asked me to apply some of my automotive electrical expertise, and one of the possibilities that came to my mind was the possibility that the crankshaft sensor might not be working properly. And guess what? Not only was it not even working properly, it wasn't even there. Found an extra wiring connector on the wiring harness. So Furhead and I made a mad dash to the auto parts store just recently. Now he's underneath the Jeep, possibly never to be seen again. He's hooking the thing up. Take a look at all the fuel injection system plumbing here. Not plumbing, wiring. I hope that's cries of joy.
That is ironic hysteria, actually.
Ironic hysteria? What's wrong?
Because what's happening is I have little bolts. Ow, that was a flashlight to the face. What was happening is I have bolts here in the house. Those bolts actually seem to be the same kind of thread pitch in the bell housing.
Well, that's pretty awesome if that's going to work. Anyway, yeah, we had this little connector right here. It was just unplugged. You can guess where that goes.
Hi!
Down to a crankshaft rotation sensor. And without that, you won't have any fire. So I was mistaken last night when I said that it sounded like it was firing incorrectly, because it couldn't have been firing at all. Probably wasn't even firing the fuel injectors. We know it didn't have any spark. We've got a new starter motor. Anyway, as soon as Furhead has all this stuff plumbed up, and probably after we put the air intake plenum and the filter back in place, we'll go ahead and have another try at running this thing up. It certainly cranks a lot better than it used to, doesn't it?
Well, the starter isn't full of shit now.
He's very blunt, isn't he?
Where can we zip tie this thing at?
Well, it's got a little peg on it.
Yeah, but the peg doesn't seem to go anywhere where there's a hole nearby.
Okay.
I'm just gonna zip tie it around the injector rail.
This is Walsh Motors Precision Auto Repair right here.
No, man, it's Nuke It Auto.
And we flew in our silver-colored jet plane over there, the '88 Buick. Pretty awesome car.
When you brought it to us, it'll be broke after we get done with it.
Just broken differently, huh?
Yep.
Well, I sure hope this works.
Should. Hopefully. Probably gonna be something else going wrong with it, though.
Oh, probably. You know, not that I want to gloat, but I'm pretty proud of the fact that I was at least in the ballpark on this. So you're going to hook up some of the air intake plumbing and stuff again when you get all that zip tied to your liking?
Probably.
Oh, can he make it? All right, well, we'll be back in just a minute, thanks to the magic of video editing. That sounds like maybe it's hitting something. Oh, just the creeper.
Okay. Let's see what shits and giggles do.
All right, everybody, here we go again. What's that?
Can you shoot yourself and not giggle?
Oh, Furhead. What an act. Let's see what we get. Stuff's happening. All right. A little lumpy, but it's running. They tell me they've got all the spark plug wires hooked up right. It's been so long since I heard this thing run though. I think it sounds a little lumpy, but that's just my personal opinion. Putting his transmission fluid in, and then we're going to see if it actually goes into gear. Sure hope nothing flies off and hits the wagon, because that'll make me mad. Woo! Yeah! I think it gets the Keykeeper seal of approval for the first time in about a year.
And press down on the gas a little bit and move it down into first.
see shoot out?
I don't know, like a big white ball or something.
A spark, maybe?
Not butter tonight. It's wiggling on the rear. It's kind of missing it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I could have it out on the distributor cap. That's probably right. Get in the cab and stick it down in the gear.
All right, everybody. This is the real test. This is not a drill. Furhead sees something he doesn't like. And he's just picking something up. That was an interesting noise. Well, we may not be out of the woods quite yet. We're definitely not out of the woods quite yet. The alternator is not charging the battery, and that's not a good thing, so we'll probably have to put an alternator in it. Sounded like maybe that was the radiator fan rubbing on the shroud or something, or maybe rubbing on the radiator, which it better not be doing that, because that will tear it up in no time. All right, everybody. Battery's a little soft. That's still making that noise. They had a couple of transmission bolts and stuff that were loose. So let's see. You gotta, there we go. Isn't this just awesome? Awesome.
Leave it in gear.
Some assembly required. See what's making that noise. See anything obvious?
Sounds like something knocking into the engine.
Oh, I hope not.
I think it's the plywood.
Possibly knocking into the engine. Don't goose it.
Too late to be using it, too late to be trying.
I don't think this guy should be driving this. Ah!
Get out.
Well, I think we just tried to figure out if any of our viewers suffer from photosensitive conditions. Well, they're off on some kind of an adventure, that's for sure. They're still making some noise. Not sure what that is. Maybe one of you folks in the comments will have some idea if we don't get it figured out. Oh, we got headlights. Oh, this has been a long time coming, folks. A long and hard ride. It's not over yet. But hey, they're making steps in the right direction at least. We'll see if they make their trip around the world in one block. So far, so good. They will have to figure out what's making that noise. But then they should come back around this way. And we'll just see what happens. But it's running well, at least. So the number of unroadworthy wrecks around here decreases by 1. And of course the wind picks up, so you probably can't hear a thing I'm saying. Sure is taking them a while to get around here. But I can understand not wanting to hot dog it. Here it comes. Well, I think it's probably a pretty safe bet that we got the Jeep finished up and running again just in time to put it back inside. So thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment. Had something else transpire while we were driving around looking for parts and pieces for the Jeep. I saw some stuff set out for the curb. Got an old Samsung computer monitor here that it looks like somebody was not exactly diligent in raking the wildlife out of it. Let's see what this thing is. It's a SyncMaster 203B, so probably around a 20-inch panel, somewhere in there. Guess I should have just left that option turned on. As you can see, the panel itself is not broken, so I have to clean this thing up, take it inside, see whether or not it actually happens to work. But there you go. Thank you for watching, everyone. We got the Jeep running again. Feel free to leave a comment if you have one.